And the last video I'll do for tonight will be Waxwork II, Lost in Time. No matter where you go, I can't help it. Every time I think of that title, I always think of the sort of rap song at the end. Dun 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 ba dum bum. Down down down. Dun dun dun. Waxwork II, you know. Once again, you got the director Anthony Hickox coming back. You got Zach Galligan once again starring. You don't have Deborah Foreman as the female lead. You have another girl. I think it's I say I think because I haven't seen this girl in too many other films. Monica Schneider, at least that I remember. But Waxwork II, Lost in Time. I will be honest, I really love Waxwork, but Waxwork II was the one I watched more when I was a kid. So, although I really love Waxwork, I would say Waxwork II, Lost in Time is probably the one I like more. I think because it has more of a adventure feeling to it. Like these characters, you know, going on an adventure through time. It's funny, someone mentions it's kind of like God's Nintendo game, which I like that. With all the events going on, I like that description. But basically, it takes right after the first film, Waxwork II, where at the end of Waxwork I, you had the Wax Museum was burned down, but you had that hand. And it followed them home, like hitched a ride with them in the cab, followed the girl home, and it killed her father with a fucking hammer, and she's like trying to... I had to think maybe, I wonder if Evil Dead 2 was the inspiration for this, but she's trying it, and it's like trying to kill her, and she puts it down the pretty much garbage compactor, you know, down the sink, and she's like, Mark, you said it was over, and then you have Waxwork II, and then she's pretty much the girlfriend, Zach Galligan's girlfriend is put on trial for murder. And she has this story, and of course they don't believe her, and she doesn't know what to do, and Zach Galligan is like, we gotta figure out something because they don't give you the chair, they don't kill you. You know, they're not going to believe your story. So, of course, if you've seen the first one, you find out that Patrick McNee, who was a good friend of Zach Galligan, was killed in the previous film. But he left something behind saying, you know, I hope we got that done. I hope we got that museum. If anything happens, you know, make sure of this and that. And also says if you guys are in trouble, there's sort of this motif of Through the Looking Glass, which I think was the sequel to, was that the sequel to Alice in Wonderland? Was that what it was called, Through the Looking Glass? Because at the very beginning, you have some lines, I believe from that story, Through the Looking Glass, and, you know, Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And by using that, they find a secret room. And this film, if you're a horror film fan, Waxwork II has, just like the first film, has a lot of, like, to me, these, I'll say again, these are game changers. You know, if you're a horror film fan, you should enjoy these films, in my opinion. I mean, if you don't, you don't. That's fine. Because, like, when they enter the room, it's like a collection of maybe Patrick McNee had done this in his youth or what. Like, travel through time or dimension, however you want to call it. So you see all, like, these, what you want to call it, souvenirs, like, you know, you have an ode to Jason Voorhees, because, like, there's a hockey mask with blood on that they find, and not the exact, because they probably couldn't get the rights, otherwise they'd be sued, but, you know, it's a hockey mask with blood on it, and they're looking through, and pretty much they find this sort of watch that opens up a portal, and it's like, we gotta go through, we gotta find evidence, otherwise they'll give you the chair. Which I like. I mean, it was a believable, like, okay, you know, she's on bail. Either we're on the run for the rest of our life, or we go through this and, you know, get some evidence, some actual evidence that will make them believe this crazy idea. So they go through, and I love about the film, for the most part, is pretty much an adventure where you have all these, again, it's like you get several different movies. It's not just one movie. So you get like, it takes place pretty much Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. You have the insane doctor. You have the Frankenstein monster. Really good effects. You got your gore, like someone being punched through his chest, heart ripped out. You have like someone's brains being his head being squeezed, his fucking brains popping out, and pops right into Zach Galligan's hands. Going, they have to go through, and then you have like the girl. She goes through Alien. It's pretty much an Alien ripoff, and she's pretty much a Sigourney Weaver type. So, it takes place in space and an alien type of creature, but at the same time, it's their own design. What's sad is that's better than some of the alien ripoffs I've seen. So you got like an ode to Alien, that kind of thing. And, I mean, and then you have Zach Galligan, who he's now in like, it's black and white and sort of an ode to those ghost stories like The Haunting, and really well done. Like seeing like it's black and white, but then he opens and you see like red blood coming at him. These horrible sounds, and like the camera does sort of like these. I just kind of like what they did back in the day in those black and white sort of haunting type movies. And yeah, Bruce Campbell. Which I will say Bruce Campbell did a good job here. This is one, I mean, the thing with Bruce Campbell, nowadays he kind of just plays himself. But back in the day, he actually played characters. So, like, this was not just Bruce Campbell being himself. This was Bruce Campbell being a character. Same with Moontrap, I think. Same with Maniac Cop. And same with... at least even like the first Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. He wasn't just Bruce Campbell as Bruce Campbell. It was Bruce Campbell playing a character. He's kind of a professor type. He had a very funny scene where Zach Galligan finds him, and like he's tied up, Bruce Campbell, and his whole chest is exposed with bones. But it's meant for comic effect, and it's a scene I remember as a kid to this day laughing my ass off on, because it's the physical comedy, but it's like stuff falls on it, and like Zach Galligan's like picking these things out from amongst Bruce Campbell's chest, and each time he does it, Bruce Campbell's like trying to explain. He's like, ah, but then it's like, ah, and like he tries to put water on it, and it's like fucking vinegar, and Bruce Campbell's like, really well done story. I really like the story and where it goes, and it's about I'll give away at the end when I give spoilers, but it's one of those things where I thought it was really well done. It's just really cool seeing this stuff. Like, okay, you have Frankenstein story, then you got Alien, and then you got a take on The Haunting type of movies. Really well done stuff. And then what happens is, and I guess it's him going through time, going through periods of time. And again, God's Nintendo game. I like that sort of description. So it's kind of like he's becoming like a warrior, going from place to place, battling and the evil that happens to be in that time frame or that dimension or however you want to call it. My only problem with the film is that it slows down where they get to this area of sort of, I guess this is the take on the sword and sorcery type of place. Although you do get David Carradine. He's in that for a small role as a guy who gives Zach Galligan the sword. Alexander Godunov. You remember him from Die Hard, of course. Unfortunately, I think this actor has passed away, but Alexander Godunov, he's in there. But that's kind of the more lengthy part of the film. Got a little bit slow during that. I mean, I like the idea of Alexander Godunov, his character, sort of, sorcery and like this woman turns this like cat-like creature, and the effects I think are good. But again, the sort of length of that, I think some stuff could have been cut out. So it's not the most interesting. I guess that's my only thing. It's not the most interesting segment, but at the same time, I could deal with it. I could deal with it. Especially at the end, you're like, it's still, I think, a very funny film as well as. Would I say it's gorier than the first one or no? I don't know which one would be gorier because you get some good gore moments in here as well. Some crazy gore, which I'll get to, but I think the ending really helps that out too because I loved up to that. And then, you know, I like David Carradine, I like Alexander Grunov, I like Zach Galligan, so I was fine with it. Just, it went a little bit too long for my taste, so that was really my only problem with the film. Like I said, I like Zach Galligan in this film more than the first one, because the first one at the beginning was a little bit more of a snob. But throughout the film, I warmed up to him and liked him. Here, I liked him from the get-go. The girl, she was fine, you know. Nice seeing these little cameos, and it was cameos, but it didn't get annoying with how many there were. And I love the sword fight at the end. The sword fight at the end is fantastic. If I'll say again, Michael Keane or others, you need to see this movie. This sword fight, because the sword fight happens with Zach Galligan and Alexander Grunov, but then the sort of watch comes loose. And so it's basically them going through all of these different time periods, but pretty much from one movie parody or movie tribute to another. So like they travel to one, and it's a tribute to Godzilla. They go to one, and it's absolutely a great tribute to the original Dawn of the Dead. They go to one, and it's like there's fucking Jack the Ripper. And Zach Galligan punches Jack the Ripper, who goes through a portal into the world of Nosferatu. And so they're still doing it. And I like the Trial of the Nosferatu. It's actually a silent movie. So it has that silent movie, like music but no sound. Just the music. And Jack the Ripper gets trapped and is going to get killed by fucking Nosferatu. I'm like, that's genius. That's fucking genius. It ends on a good note. Very entertaining, very fun. Yeah, ode to Body Snatchers. Yeah, ode to a lot of films. And definitely check out the film. I love this film very much for its imagination, a great tribute to horror films, but it's in a good way. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's fast-paced. I will say it's fast-paced. I'm getting more to a little bit of spoilers because I don't have much time left. But I just love some of the gore bits, like even the alien segment. I like the creature. You know, for a low budget they were able to do a lot, like a Frankenstein segment, and then the alien thing, and then the you know, the sword fight with all these different locations. For a low budget, they really knew how to use it. That's what I mean. I like this more in Cabin in the Woods because look what they're doing there. It's like Dawn of the Dead. It's like in the 70s, and they're fucking up zombies, but still. And then the Godzilla, and they even have a joke like, "Oh my god!" Like they do a joke on the dubbing, like he moves his lips and then words with his mouth closed. "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh lord!" or something like. Like the alien segment, some good gore bits. Like he like stretches a guy's head, and then slams it down, so a big splitter of blood. Like you see this guy's like neck being stretched out, head. He's about ready to be torn off, so you think it'll be torn off, but the alien just like says "fuck it," and just slams it down to the guy's neck, exploding the head. You're like, wow, I love this movie. I love the song at the end. Doom, boom. Boom, down, down, boom, 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 boom. I love Waxwork II. Thanks for watching. Take care.